Once upon a lily pad, in a far-off pond, nestled deep in the heart of the countryside, there lived a tiny frog named Freddie. Freddie wasn't your ordinary frog. He had big dreams and an even bigger imagination. One day, while hopping around the pond, he overheard the older frogs talking about the wonders of New York City. "New York City is the most amazing place in the world," croaked one frog. "It's filled with towering skyscrapers, bustling streets, and the most delicious flies you've ever tasted," exclaimed another. Freddie's heart leaped with excitement. He knew right then and there that he had to see the Big Apple for himself. So, without hesitation, he packed his tiny froggy backpack with snacks and set off on his grand adventure. As Freddie hopped along, he encountered all sorts of creatures, from friendly ducks to sneaky raccoons. Each encounter brought its own set of challenges, but Freddie faced them with courage and determination. He even managed to outsmart a hungry fox by hiding in a patch of tall grass. Finally, after days of hopping, Freddie reached the edge of the pond and gazed out at the vast expanse of the city before him. The sight took his breath away. Towering buildings stretched up to the sky, and the streets buzzed with activity. With a determined croak, Freddie hopped into the city, ready to explore every inch of it. He marveled at the sights and sounds around him, from the honking of taxis to the chatter of pedestrians. But amidst all the hustle and bustle, Freddie couldn't help but feel a little lost. Just when he was starting to feel discouraged, Freddie heard a friendly voice calling out to him. It was a wise old pigeon perched on a nearby fire escape. "Hey there, little froggy. Looks like you're new in town," the pigeon cooed. Freddie nodded eagerly. "I am. I've always dreamed of seeing New York City, and now I'm finally here." The pigeon smiled kindly. "Well, you've come to the right place. But remember, even in a big city like this, it's important to stay true to yourself and always lend a helping hand to those in need." Freddie nodded, taking the pigeon's words to heart. And with a newfound sense of purpose, he set off to explore the city once again. Along the way, Freddie encountered all sorts of characters, from street performers to friendly squirrels. He even made friends with a family of pigeons who showed him around Central Park. But as Freddie wandered through the bustling streets of Times Square, he suddenly heard a loud commotion up ahead. Curious, he hopped closer to investigate. To his horror, he saw a poor little mouse trapped in the middle of the street, surrounded by speeding cars. Without a second thought, Freddie sprang into action. With lightning-fast reflexes, he leaped into the road and scooped up the mouse just before a taxi could squash it flat. The crowd erupted into cheers as Freddie safely carried the mouse to the sidewalk. The mouse, grateful and relieved, thanked Freddie profusely before scurrying off into the safety of a nearby alley. Freddie couldn't help but feel a swell of pride in his chest as he watched the mouse disappear into the shadows. He had learned an important lesson that day. No matter how big or small you are, you can always make a difference in the world. With a contented sigh, Freddie continued his journey through the city, knowing that he had found his place in the bustling metropolis of New York City. And as he hopped along, he couldn't help but smile, knowing that he had made some new friends and had a grand adventure that he would never forget. And so, dear reader, the tale of Freddie the Frog and his adventures in New York City comes to a close. remember, the next time you hear a croak in the night or see a frog hopping by, take a moment to remember the lessons of bravery, friendship, and kindness that Freddie taught us all. And who knows, maybe you'll find yourself embarking on your own grand adventure someday. The end.